Wait, can I take a picture with Kelly? Oh. Hi, Tiffany. It's nice to meet you. I'm Sharon. And hi, Alyssa. I realized I said hi before, but you can't hear me. Yeah, that's a problem. Okay, hold on. All righty. We're just winging it over here, everybody. Okay. Jenny helped me to set up today because I couldn't figure out how to do this thing. It's still not, you can't see what the problem is. Yes, we're gonna like officially get started, but Evan, I don't know why I can't make this see. You can't see what I'm doing. Do you
Can you
mind?
make your screen go screen up?
Need
The crumbles.
just something to put back here.
Can of beans.
Yeah, do we have a can that we're not using? No,
Where is this? Maybe work?
that would be
But
perfect.
it's probably too thick though. All right, everybody, thanks for your patience. I'm so sorry. We're just a few little technical difficulties. It's worth the wait, I promise.
Mm,
Can I get a thumbs up from you two that you can hear me fine? Uh-oh.
I know.
Okay, just stay tuned. We're coming back for you. All righty.
Sorry.
Little excitement for a Thursday. Right? Yeah, let me get a woot woot, right? I'm gonna actually, I just realized, I'm gonna check, oh my God.
Yeah, it does. What?
The bake. I made one so you can eat it.
Yay.
And then we're gonna make a new one. So, all right, we're good. All right, and Evan, we're recording? Awesome. Well, welcome to Bake with Sharon and Bake with Kelly and Bake with Tamara. Oh, this is a threesome here. We are all together here to bake Kelly's recipe. It was right over there. And I took the liberty of naming it. I like to name my recipes. Does anyone know my little fun fact about what I like to do when I name my recipes?
Nope.
I like an alliteration. So I always try and do like the same letter before each thing, and I didn't get quite there, but this is called our very veggie bake. So I have some notes on the top. If you guys are at home, if you ever look this recipe up, you want to bake it on your own. So I always try and give you some tips and tricks.
Yes.
So check those out. There's some good ones there, but there's a really fun one that I just want to explain briefly. And here I explained the whole thing and forgot to bring it from home. So we're using real garlic. But if any of you ever look in the freezer section of the supermarket, there are these little packets. They're like little cubes with a red top, and it's called Doro or Dorot. They have minced garlic, minced ginger, and minced basil. And they are so easy to use and make it much better than chopping than what you normally do. So if you see them in the frozen section, and then they last in your freezer forever, so you can just pop them out. It's of course so great, and I forgot to do it, but there you go. So that's another thing I wanted to say, because sometimes it's good to get time savers. When you want to cook it like on a weeknight, you don't have enough time, you don't want to deal with all the chopping. So you might want to just do something like that that's already pre-done a little bit. So it's more expensive, but you can buy like your fruit and vegetables pre-cut. I would maybe do that if you're really pressed for time, but otherwise it's always more affordable if you just buy the fresh. So those are my little tips. We're gonna get started. What's the first thing we do? Wash your hands. I've washed my hands like 20
I did
times.
already.
Kelly's so smart. Her and Tamara actually have gloves. I might jump on that bandwagon and try it. So the first thing with this recipe, let me say one more thing because I'm gonna forget. With every recipe, one of the most important things is reading through the entire recipe to the very end before you start.
Yes.
I can't tell you how many times I've gotten started and then realized, oh my God, I don't have that ingredient, or oh my God, I didn't realize it's supposed to put this in first. So read it through. And in this case, and I think I suggested this, but if not, definitely for the next one. Oh, I did. Okay, make sure you pre-wash your vegetables. You should always pre-wash your vegetables and fruit. Let it dry. And when possible, pre-cut. That's time saver too. Oh, hey, Jess, so good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. I'm so happy you're joining us. So all right, so we're gonna get started. So Kelly, what made you choose this recipe?
It's a healthy recipe.
And what else have you had it before?
No.
Oh.
It's my first time.
Oh, I love it. Then we're all gonna be
Yes.
first timers together. All right. So one of the things to keep in mind, one last thing, hello, Tilly. When you have a recipe that calls for a lot of vegetables, for example, or even a meat, you know, I always try and tell you that there are substitutions you can make. So if you see the vegetables here and you say, this is great, but I don't like zucchini, then you don't have to put zucchini in.
Yeah, I don't like zucchini.
Well, there you go. Now, in this case, I chopped it big so you could just eat around it. But maybe you don't like sweet potatoes, but you like regular potatoes. You could swap those out because they cook about the same time. But the only thing to remember when swapping, it has to be kind of the same kind of thing, the same maybe like thickness, like potato for potato, you could sub
Mhm.
because they will cook about the same time. You could do the cauliflower, you could switch it to broccoli, same thing. So in this case, because there's so much going on, I pre-cut some things. But Kelly and Tamara are gonna get started, and I wanna tell you something really important about when you're baking a vegetable that's like potato. If you wanted to get a really good roast, I always steam my vegetables first in the microwave for like 2 or 3 minutes. And then I put them in the oven and they get a nice crispy exterior and the inside is nice and soft and fluffy. So that's just a fun fact to keep in mind for a lot of things actually. And we're gonna do it today. And the other reason, I know I'm throwing so much at you today, but there are so many good nuggets to share that when you are baking something that has, or cooking anything for that matter, timing is the hardest thing in cooking. So if you know these potatoes and cauliflower will take longer, you could put those in first if you didn't want to pre-steam them. And then wait a little bit and then add maybe your squash or your peppers, things that cook up faster. And it's hard to like know the timing, but if we start to do more food, I will write that in my recipe tips and it'll help you get used to it and understand it. But this is your first time hearing it, you can kind of make a mental note and move on. Would you mind handing me that bowl, please? So when I cut these vegetables, these are the two like sturdiest vegetables that need to go in the microwave to steam. So I pre-cut some, I forgot to put my gloves on already. And I tried to
You
cut
want
them
your gloves?
in cubes that are about the same, I'll get them in a second, that are around the same size so they cook evenly. So I cut mine in circles and then let's watch. Can you hold that up like
Yes.
just how you're cutting it? Because I think that would be helpful for people to see.
Kelly, do you want to?
Yeah, you move over. Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
You get in there,
To show them that it's a big piece.
right? And
You
then,
can-
and always
you're
remember your
filming
knife
these like
skills.
this, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Kelly, that's
Good job.
amazing. She knew to put her fist down to hold it steady and then curl your fingers.
Good
Right,
job.
just in 4, in half and then half the other way. So you guys finish cutting those up. And I'm gonna move on to the next important thing to know. Cauliflower. Who likes cauliflower? Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you ever notice when you buy the cauliflower, sometimes it gets like a little brown spots on the edge, even though it might be totally fresh? So you don't want to throw away the whole cauliflower for that,
Right.
right? I saved this piece in just to show you that all you have to do. Yeah, I'm sorry, take that back.
Got the Eric, you get some too.
Yay. Oh, so excited. Eric's joining us. We need to document. Okay. Do you mind passing that back, you guys? Oh, and there's one more to cut, the potato. I left you one to do. So, I'm gonna be super careful with my cauliflower. You see my little marks there. I just realized I don't want to do it over this because this is what I'm using. Let me,
Is that
I'll
right?
just put
Can I
it on
cut
paper
them in
towel
half?
for now. I just very carefully hold it away from me and just very carefully just slice off the little brown part. And then it's totally good to use. So I'm just chiseling. It's almost like if you had like a piece of clay, just chiseling off. I got all of the pieces. And now the next part of a cauliflower that's so cool. I don't know if you can see this at home. Do you see how it has the stalk in the middle and then all of the bulbs around? You can hold your cauliflower. I'm gonna hold it over here. We've got so many people working. It's so fun to have everyone in the kitchen. And well, let me do it on the cutting board to show you the right way.
You need a cutter board?
Oh, I've got one, thank you. I don't know if you guys can see this at home. But I'm going to hold my cauliflower with my curled fingers. That way you don't nip the finger. You curl them over, hold it steady, and try and get in between like a little, it's almost like a flower, right? There's the stem and the top. So just try and slice there and I'm good to go. And then once you start to make that space, you can see where the other stems are. You might have to lift it up, so be really careful. And there's my ready to go version. Just gonna take a pause. You guys are gonna see, ooh, my glasses are.
Be careful.
Look how beautiful our bake is.
Beautiful.
I already see one mistake I made. We won't do it this time. What? I probably should have waited to put the Parmesan on after because I forgot it would burn up a little, but that's all right. It's crispy and delicious. All right, we have a gorgeous veggie bake for you guys to taste. Now, when the time comes. So I'm just gonna finish my cauliflower while they're doing their potato. Ah, there you go. I'm all good.
Did you?
I did not. I made it. Yep,
Did
I
you?
made it. Nope, I'm good. Thank you. But I am gonna lift my fingers this time and be a little more
Yeah.
careful. See, I just did like one of the biggest mistakes in cooking. You don't wanna rush. You don't wanna not pay attention, right? You just wanna make sure you take your time and that all of your movements are safe. So you don't wanna be like frivolous about cutting something, for example, like I just did.
Oh,
So-
with the stuff that we used on the side.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we can throw that out. Sometimes there's what not to do instead of what to do, right? And you could also even just do a little break off if it, sometimes it'll rip right at the base. So here's what we're gonna do. Kelly, we're gonna bring this over to the microwave. These are our two sturdiest vegetables, like I said, from steaming them. And there happens to be a button on this microwave called potato. So how brilliant. So we're just gonna push potato and hit start and we're good to go.
How many minutes?
So I generally do 3 minutes. You don't want to do it too much. And at home, I have a
Yeah.
microwave that actually has a steam vegetables button. So I'm guessing on the time, but I think that's pretty much it. Okay,
That's Sharon's.
just like with baking, everyone, you need to clean your workspaces and once you use something, you want to move it out of the way.
Are we done with the?
We are
cutting board?
not done. We have so much cutting to do. Next, we're gonna do squash. This is zucchini. It's also a squash and this is yellow squash. I'm gonna do a quick demonstration, Kelly, and then you'll do the rest, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Taking charge here. All right, I've got my pre-washed zucchini. This is one of my favorite vegetables of all time. You
I
can do
love
a million
zucchini.
things with it. Maybe we'll do a whole zucchini class
Yeah.
or series. So remember with
I
the
love
nice
that
scale-
idea.
I know. You're gonna put the tip down, really steady your hand and let the knife do all the work for you. So you want like about an inch of a cut and just like a seesaw almost. And you can kind of just let it, you see how it's just rolling? I don't know if you can see that at home. And that's how you get a nice solid cut. And you don't have to do the work of chopping. And just like Kelly showed you, I'm gonna cut this in half and then in half again, so it's quarters. So in half one side and in half the other, four pieces. So I'm gonna let them do the rest. This will go in this bowl. And we've got two of them. While they're doing that, I'm gonna move along to the next vegetable, which is a tricky one to cut. Another fave of mine, and I'm gonna give you another, actually, maybe we'll do this, actually. Bella just got home from college and she loves to cook. And she showed me this recipe with roasted red pepper and walnuts. And you mix it up and it's like a hummus. It is so delicious. You wouldn't even know you were eating pepper. Oh, that's the. Like, I just took it out. So here's the trick with the pepper. First of all, how pretty is it, right? Look
Yeah.
what nature does. Isn't that cool? So the first thing you want to do, I'm gonna clean my knife to start.
Like how you put them in the dish. Bowl.
Okay, and whenever you're walking with a knife down, right? Or even talk out loud if you're walking by someone behind you or next to you. So I'm gonna take my pepper, I'm gonna hold it sideways. Remember, again, we're curling our fingers because you really want to get a steady hold and you don't want to nip that finger by accident. So we're gonna steady it down. We're gonna use that knife again. Remember, it's really just letting it do the work for you if you have a sharp knife. And just cut the top off. And you get a little, pretty little flower. And then I like to just cut it down the center here. And then I just super careful. You always want to try and cut away from you, but I'm actually not as good at that as I am cutting it towards me. So this is a do as I say, not as I do moment. And I'm going to just very gently cut across all of the parts that are white. Well, actually, there's a little more white. I'll get that. And now you've got this beautiful half. You could use this as a, when you make that dip, you could use this to scoop up. How delish. You could bake something in it. There's stuffed peppers is a delicious meal. We could go crazy with this cooking thing, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, we might have to alternate. Bake with Sharon, sweet and savory.
Yeah.
So much. That's 2 minutes. I can't even go like, I do not.
I'm sure Rose has a better way.
In
actually.
fact, I already have an idea of something in the future.
I don't
Oh.
know that.
How about we try like doing like homemade pasta?
Okay, we're gonna do it
Zucchini
this summer
pasta?
because Liza, my daughter, we make homemade pasta and she loves it. And she makes it all the time. I've got the thingy, that you put on the KitchenAid and it whips out the pasta?
Yeah.
All right, so you have choices with your pepper. In this case, I want to keep everything the same because remember, cooking time, want it to be about the same. So I'm gonna cut my chunks a little bit bigger. This is like just a little bigger than bite size, maybe. You'll get a nice hearty bite, right? And again, I'm using that knife to roll back and forth. And you want to set, sometimes it doesn't cut all the way through. You can just, I won't put that one in, even though I did what, like shape. Okay. There's another. We're just, I shouldn't be leaning over. So Kelly, do you want to cut the rest of these peppers, actually? And I'm gonna move on. Here's another tricky little thing about cooking, but once you've got it down, you've got it down. It's awesome. Who has ever eaten chickpeas before? Chickpeas are one of those amazing little beans that I guess it is considered a bean, right? It's a bean. They're just chock full of healthy things for you. And it's a great source of protein. There's 6 grams of protein in these chickpeas. So if you are a vegetarian, this is a great little energy source right here, protein source. And I do a million things with my chickpeas. And I do have a class already, I have the whole recipe, so we can make baked chickpeas 2 ways. So we'll do like a spicy one and a not spicy one. When you get the chickpeas, they come filled in water. And yeah, you can
Am I
just
using that one?
yeah, absolutely. I have a strainer here. I'm gonna put this, they come in water to preserve them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this in the sink. We're going to pour this out and let them drain.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna, before I let them drain, I forgot to mention, I know you can't see me, but you can hear me. I'm rinsing my chickpeas. You always want to give them a healthy little rinse. Shake them around. And I'm gonna let them drain for a minute. I'm gonna tell you one more thing about chickpeas. They have a little skin on them. Now, in what the case that we're using this, it's okay, we're gonna leave them. But if you were going to make hummus, which again could be another day, so excited. You want to try and get those skins off. And when we have that class, I'm going to tell you how to do it. We're not doing it today. All right, I'm going to clear my space again. A good cook cleans their space. And we're moving on. I haven't looked at the recipe yet, so I'll have to make sure that we're on track.
Oh, it's over there.
Oh my God, we're so good. All right, next thing. This is a huge bummer, guys. In the past couple of years have learned there's a lot of things I can't eat anymore. And one of them is garlic. And I love, like the smell of this right now, it's just,
Oh, man.
because my stomach is a mess and it's not, it sucks.
Yeah,
It
for
really sucks.
garlic in it.
And I can't eat onion either or dairy. So it really sucks.
I'll start because Marcy, I had in mind cut contained garlic. I was thinking.
All right. So I just wanted to.
At least you can eat like cheese that does not contain dairy, right?
Totally. And there are things I can eat. You're totally right. And I kind of sheep and goat too. So there's good alternatives.
By the way, have you
you're
ever
cooking
made
this up.
cheese, by the way?
I have not.
We should actually do that as like class.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will have to try that first before we do that, but that is a great suggestion. Okay, just like I told you about the chickpeas, we've got our garlic. Look, it's wrapped in this sweet little coat of like a paper thin thing. Yes,
You could put us down on.
you just took my tip, girlfriend. That's awesome. Everyone listen to Faith. Want to tell them again what we just said?
Put us down on the garlic.
So let me show you how that's done. Now, again, I know it's a little hard to see at home. I'm so sorry, you guys. First of all, look how cute. I put these in this little thing. Isn't that adorable?
Right.
All right. It's all about the aesthetics, people, I tell you. Okay, so here's my garlic in the little skin. Super careful with the knife. I love what you did before, Kelly, when you really used your fist, but you were really careful not to touch. And just like Faith said, I'm gonna push down. Do you hear that crack? And mush it, mush it, mush
I
it.
didn't go that way.
I was talking, so you maybe couldn't hear it. You then can easily just unpeel the little
Yeah.
skin. And then you just gotta cut off the little top. Again, rolling your knife. And now you'll just chop it up a little bit, but it's opened up some of the aroma and some of the flavor. And then you can just, like I said before, I'm using my tip down, I'm curling my fingers, and I'm just kind of gonna make the knife work for me. And then I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna do the other. Now, Kelly, I'm sorry, I wanted to just make sure we flowed and had enough time for everything, so I did pre-cut the garlic, the rest of it.
That's all good.
Right, you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Oh, and sometimes I
Oh, do
kind
we
of,
need to kind of watch this?
sure, thanks. We, you just want to carefully put it up. Do you see I'm using this as my vehicle? I have the rest of my garlic here. I'm wiping this to get it in. And now I'm just gonna sprinkle this gorgeous, beautiful bit of sunshine on our veggies.
Good.
Doesn't it? Okay. Now, I gotta pay attention. I did this, okay, did my chickpeas. Okay, we are going to, the problem is I don't have quite a big enough bowl, so we'll just do this separately, but then we'll mix it all together. I'm gonna put my olive oil here. We're going to, here's another thing, do as I say, not as I do. I think that olive oil is meant to be like really eaten, so I don't love when you just have 1 tablespoon, that's not enough. But if you, in a pan or a bowl that's like about this size, like a bigger one, if you start at the top and like clockwise, like a clock, go around 1 time, that's the equivalent of 1 tablespoon. So I'm gonna add just, I'm gonna add 2 here, and I'm gonna add 2 here because olive oil is really good for you. It's better when it's not cooked, but it still has some good value. Excellent. You're right. That's exactly
Yeah.
right. So it's just, I put it on my salad too. So now we're gonna take it's 1, let me see what I said here. 1 teaspoon of oregano. I'll let you do that. If you don't have oregano, you could do thyme, you could do basil, you could do parsley. Excellent suggestion, Sharon. Wait, do we have the right one? Is that a teaspoon? You go ahead and do that. And then, it says salt, pepper, and, well, it says salt and pepper and garlic, and I already did the garlic, so we'll just do a little salt. Yep. And let me just see what we have here.
Really doing a good job.
Amazing job. I'm gonna take you home and you're gonna help me at home. Because no one helps me at home. I'm just gonna do a little here and a little here. And here's the magic. I don't really have the spoons here. Maybe we'll use this. Oh, there's one more thing to pre-do. Do you see my gorgeous tomatoes?
Oh, yeah.
So the really pretty thing is we're going to slice these, so they're gonna be on top like what you just saw. This is okay because a little garlic on there is not gonna hurt. You really want to have a steady base with your tomato, but in this case, I want a beautiful round circle. So I'm gonna hold it down, curl my fingers, take my knife. You guys should know that all by the time this class is done.
Yeah.
And I'm really gonna try and be straight, okay? I missed the boat there because I got and it's gonna be a throwaway piece. I'm going to try and cut the same amount each way. It doesn't matter like how big, but you just want it to be even. So it cooks the same. So we've got 1, I need 4, 2, 3, and 4. I'm gonna inch out. You never want to cut down when it's this narrow. So I'm putting it flat down and I'm gonna slice it from the side and hope I can get it good. It turned it a little bit. Not perfect, but good enough. So I'm gonna leave these over here because these are gonna go on top and we're gonna mix all this together. Oh, it's about the chickpeas. Thank you. What would I do without that? Okay, shake, shake, shake. You can put an even amount in both. We're just gonna put all this together, so it's okay. And we're getting super creative because I don't have enough pans, so you can swap, we talked about this. You can swap, if you don't have the right size baking dish, this is 9 by 13. This is the size that this recipe calls for, which is crazy because it's too small. But if you didn't have a 9 by 13, these, oh, I love this, says what it is. This is 9 by 5. So if you look, let's see if I can shoot together, it's loud, right? Do you see how these two are almost the same size as this? These are a little deeper. So if you don't have the right size, as long as you can kind of test it out by looking at the food you have, clearly all of this is not going to fit in this. It's okay to improvise. It's okay to find something else. Just try and see what looks the same, right? About the same. Yeah. That's a great question. Yes, you could 100% do it in glass. Probably. I mean, that's a great point, Jillian. When you're switching something, you might have to pay a little more attention when you look in the oven. use your expertise. If it looks like it's burning, take it out. Even if the time says it goes to X time, you still want to kind of use your best judgment.
When it smells good, it's time to.
When it smells good, I love that. It's just so fun working together. I love it. So I'm taking my spatula, which is gonna make you.
That's a good point.
You said when it smells good.
Mhm.
I said when it's black on top, it's.
Yeah.
It's time to call Domino's.
So exactly, you might want to have that on speed dial. So this is not a spoon, I realize, but you again, you improvise, okay, that is so tiny, that's not gonna.
I guess
work.
it's,
You hear, I thought I was spatula. Here, use this. Okay, we're gonna get rocking and rolling, people. So this is how we're doing. You know, sometimes when we bake and we're doing a cake and I say you have to carefully fold the batter, same concept for cooking. I'm gonna be very careful not to spill this. I'm digging in the bottom and I'm just carefully bringing it up and around. And as you see, you can start to see that the spices and the herbs, like, that's how you know you're mixing it well. And you just want to get all that goodness together. So I'm just
smells
gonna,
so good.
already, doesn't it? And you know, if you like a little more oregano, add a little more oregano. Don't go crazy, but you know, a little
And if we
extra
have
dash.
gloves, we can do with hands.
And if
too.
you have gloves, you can dig right in. That's so smart. All right. So here's mistake number one that I did on the first one. We're not going to do here. I added the Parmesan in here. It's still fine, that part, but I sprinkled it on top. That's the part I should have not done. So here's what I think we'll do. I'm gonna
Added on,
put it
like
all together.
after all or something.
Yes, exactly. As soon as it's done, we will add it. I just realized I forgot to cut the second
So
tomato.
it says,
I think I've gone off
so
the
it
rails.
says,
with it.
so red pepper, please.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about this. That's okay. Oh, I forgot about the tomato sauce. That's the other thing. All right, we're getting it together. So this called for 1 cup of tomato sauce, either store-bought, like jar, or crushed tomatoes. And there's so much sugar. I don't know if you know that, but there's a lot of sugar in products like that and the processed. So I always try and go for like plant-based. So this is just tomatoes. So there's no, you know, anything else in there. And
Wait a minute, that much sugar in tomatoes?
not in tomatoes, in the sauce. A
Awesome.
lot of store-bought tomato sauces add sugar. That's why, remember we did some of those classes that you look at the
Okay.
ingredients, and that's how you know. So this is just crushed tomatoes. There's nothing else in it. And
Okay.
then I control if I'm gonna put anything else in it. And that's how I try to cook. I try not to buy things that are processed or bought. And if I can make it on my own, I try, but I can't always. So it's totally fine not to. Okay, I'm gonna take this back for, oh, that's heavy. I'm going to mix my sauce a little bit in each, and we're gonna combine it together. So it said a cup, and I just bought this big one to save money. Sometimes you can save money if you know you need a couple of things in like a bigger jar. And I'm gonna do that same, Kelly, this is super sharp.
Yeah.
Just be careful with that. So, wow, you're helping me so much that I went too fast. I didn't realize. So now I'm using my spatula. Again, I'm folding the sauce. It's just a nice little binder, and it just brings it together. And the nice thing about adapting this recipe is if you like Mediterranean flavors, you could mix it up. You could use different vegetables, like I said. So this could be like one recipe, like 20 ways. You could just, I'd love to know what you do. If you make this at home, will you please take a picture and send it to me? Because Cindy would be all over that, putting it on social media and showing how awesome we are. All right. I've done so much talking. Kelly, you want to help me with this?
And then
We'll
the
do that,
cheddar.
we'll do that at the end, yeah. So I'm gonna pour like about half. And then we're just gonna use both of these. I'm gonna use like a little bit in here. And a little bit in here. Now, here's something else, Jillian, that reminds me when you said that this is another good like tip. Oh, now, but there's not, oh, at that. Do you see what I did? Do you think you can do that? Like last night, I was making cupcakes, but it was a cake recipe. And so instead of the cupcakes, instead of the cake, I did like cupcake, my cupcake pan. But I knew that the recipe called for the cake to bake for 45 minutes. And that would be too long in the cupcake pan because they're smaller. So if you're going to adapt and make a different size thing, this might cook a little faster than this. So when Julian said that, and I think I did say it, but I'm just reminding you, keep an eye on it because it might cook a little different time. I might put a little bit of this. They are going to the graduation party I'm going to after this.
Alright.
But I'm really hoping my children have frosted the cupcakes and I made the frosting this morning and left it for them to do.
Okay, and then the Parmesan cheese.
And first, feta. So this is like a fun addition, right? And if you don't like feta, you could use goat. And if you don't like goat, you could use mozzarella. You could really just play this up.
I thought we just said we were, and she's after all the things.
You're right, we are going to add the Parmesan cheese. But this goes inside.
Um,
Kelly, I'm gonna let you distribute it evenly between our three. And once she does that, we're gonna place
Oh,
these on
you
top.
didn't leave the outside of here.
So smart. Does anyone remember what I do when I open a food item and I'm not using
The
all of
date.
it? I put the date with a Sharpie, and I did bring a Sharpie out to remind you that. But the reason I didn't put the date, Kelly, is because we're using all of it today. So that's the only time you really don't need to do that. And because Kelly's wearing her awesome gloves, she can just rip through that with her hands. That's amazing. All right. I think what I do sometimes when I'm doing this also, do a little bit less than you think first. Make sure you get to all of them. And then if there's more, then go back and add a little more. Like I do that with my cupcakes. I put it all in and then I go back and fill it up if I have enough. And then I just like to give a little shake, shake, shake. You have something like this. And we are so close to being done, you guys, you believe it? So look, oh. Now here's the error I made. I'm not doing it again. So to your point, I'm not putting the Parmesan now, but this is how it looks before it's going in the oven, right? It's pretty. But you know, people say that you eat first with your eyes. So it's nice to kind of have something that looks beautiful. Yeah, about to shake, shake. Okay, so we're rocking and rolling. We're putting this on. I've got my 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 over there for those. And we're off to the races. We're gonna get this in the oven. The recipe calls for 45 minutes at 425 degrees. And I just realized I did the cardinal sin that I always do and I forgot it this time. I forgot to tell you as soon as you started to preheat your oven to 425. Mine is preheated. It does not look like you're cooking, so we're all safe right now. But next time when you start the recipe, make sure you put the oven on first, so it's ready to go. Not the end of the world, you just have to wait a little. Down here. Okay, we're getting this in. We're gonna do a quick cleanup. When this is done, I'm gonna sprinkle it with Parmesan cheese. No, but lucky for you all, I have some made. So you're gonna all get to taste while Nick switches over, and Nick's gonna do the smoothie with me for dessert. Yeah. You wanna tell everyone what we're making?
Hi.
Yeah, we're making a strawberry, shortcake, smoothie.
No. All right, oh, you know what? And, well,
You want me to serve it?
I was just realizing, how about we'll do the smoothie real quick and then we'll eat and have the smoothie together, because
Yeah.
that way I don't want to take time away. And I
Okay,
have
me
no
and Taco-
idea.
Me and Taco going over there.
Yes, thank you. Let's move this stuff out of the way. Nick, I mean, yes, Nick, I got you a clean knife and a clean cutting board, so we're ready to go. Did you wash your hands?
I think I might have washed my hands at the end.
Oh, you
Very
did?
beginning.
Okay,
Yeah.
you wanna just. Well, you
Eric,
didn't
I
touch
gotta
anything,
find
you're
you.
fine.
Is it only
So
you
for
here
this
the
strawberry
fireworks?
shortcake, and I want to point out, Nick specifically asked for a strawberry shortcake milkshake is what he really asked for. I made it smoothie because we're trying to keep it healthy. I have pre-cut some of my strawberries. I cut the green part off, which is right here. Do you see it in the end? I sliced that off right here. And then I just put the flat part down and slice it down. Whenever you're cutting and you have the option to cut something off so it stays steady, try and do that. So I'm gonna do the first one, Nick, and you're gonna do the rest. So
Okay.
you can see here, and you're with me, okay? So here's my strawberry. I'm just slicing it here. Now I put the flat part down and I'm slicing it here. And voila. So Nick, can you do the rest of my strawberries? And I'm gonna get the blender ready. Thank you so much. Clara is like amazing. I'm like so grateful for this help. I can't even tell you. All right. So here's another fun fact in Nick's recipe. Now, it called for milk and I did non-dairy milk because I actually forgot to get the milk and this is what I had in my house. I keep these stored in the basement because you just never know when you might need more milk. And so you can use, this is almond milk, you could use oat milk, you could use cashew milk, which would be really fun to do with the cashews that are going in our delicious smoothie, making this so healthy and exciting. And that cashew is going to give it that taste that like mimics the strawberry shortcake part, like the cake part. So awesome. So while Nick is cutting, I didn't do it this time for the strawberries, but here's my, if you take nothing else away, your nugget of the day is if you like smoothies or nice cream, which is another thing we could do, freeze your bananas ahead. Peel them first. I peel mine. I break them in half. I label them, as Kelly is always the first to remember. And I put the date, because no one wants a banana that's been in your freezer for 2 years. So you, it is backwards. Thank you, my friend. Here it is. So we're gonna double the recipe because that way everyone can have a little more smoothie. And so this calls for 1 cup of washed and sliced strawberries. I just realized we're way, oh, but we're doing 2 cups, so that's fine. It calls for half a banana, fresh or frozen, and here's my frozen. 2 heaping tablespoons of raw cashews, which Tamara and I were talking about this.
They are good protein,
They are excellent protein and they can be
and that's on my
substituted.
diet.
It's so good. They're so good. That and walnuts are
Mhm.
awesome. It's an anti-inflammatory. Cashews are often substituted in vegan foods that cannot have any animal base because they mimic cheese when they are pureed. And ice cream. You can get delicious cashew ice cream. Wow. You like, if you were on Chopped or what's this show, Top Chef, you would have put a quick fire right now.
Like,
You
what
would
show
have
did
been
we
judged.
watch on Cooking Channel last night?
Let's see, I think it was like.
Beat Bobby Flay or something?
Oh, love that one.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't that.
Alright. Oh, here's the problem. So.
Beat Bobby Flay. It's an awesome show.
Here, people.
Yeah.
I doubled the
Fancy
recipe,
food stalls.
but
Yeah,
it'll be too much for our little baby blender to take it all. So I'm just gonna do one at a time and we'll do the actual recipe. So it starts off with 1 cup of strawberries. So here's my 1 cup. So I'm gonna scoop out a really healthy hard one, a big scoop. Yeah, you can, a little extra is fine. That's all right. You can put it in at the end. There you go. Got 1 cup. You want to do a little touch more? It's fine. It's fine. We'll do it. Okay.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more.
Well, not all that because you want to have enough for the next one. Okay, that's good. That's a perfect. Yay, teamwork. All right, what's next, Nick?
Okay, let's see. Yeah,
Oh, milk.
milk.
Half a cup.
Half.
Generally speaking, whenever you measure any liquid, who knows what kind of measuring tool you need?
glass.
Oh, you know this one.
Oh, you need a measuring cup.
You need a measuring
Glass.
cup that's
Oh, a regular
glass,
liquid cup. No,
right.
Not that
not
one.
this, but guess what? This is what I've got. So when you don't have what you need, you substitute, and this is what I have. So half a cup. So Nick, do you want to? You hold it over. I like to do it right over my food, so that way if you miss a little extra. Oh, what's wrong?
a centipede. Yeah, that's the centipede.
Millipede,
No,
yeah.
that is not near me. Oh, shit, sorry.
No,
It's
it's
down.
Slow one.
Oh my God, remind me when we have more time to tell you about the time I found a snake in my basement and nobody was home. That was not fun. All right, we've got our milk, we've got our strawberries.
Bananas.
Okay, go ahead and pick your half a banana. Could do a whole, actually. We'll go rogue. So what I refer to as ice cream, does anyone know what, you don't have to measure, it. You can just. put it right
First, an
there.
ice cream.
Put the other one in. Could actually, we'll just keep it a little, break it down. Does anyone,
Another
you do
one?
one- yeah. Mhm. Does anyone know what ice cream is?
This size?
No.
Sure. All right, you wanna do one more, why not? Walking on the wild side.
Like that.
Yeah, what's
Yep,
nice
you got
cream?
it. So it's just in a blender, literally banana and a little bit of milk. And I like to put peanut butter in mine because then it's like decadent. And then if you really want to go crazy, little dark chocolate chips, and then you've got yourself like the most amazing dessert ever, and it's super healthy. So now we need 2 heaping tablespoons of raw cashews. Where's my little measuring thing now? Here we go. 2 heaping tablespoons. And obviously these are nuts. It's gonna be a little harder to measure.
Yeah.
So just do your best. That's right. You can put a little extra in since you put a little extra banana too. Yay. You guys sticking with me here? And don't fade out. We're so close to the smoothie.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
I know. Oh, and the vanilla extract. Do you want to grab that, please? Half a teaspoon of good vanilla extract. Does anyone remember how you make vanilla extract? Vodka and vanilla bean. There you go. Done. Okay,
Let's see.
now it does ask for something I couldn't, yeah.
Lemon zest.
So here's the problem, people. I don't have a zester here, so we're not putting lemon zest, but if you're at home, you could do that. And then it says half a cup of, does it say half a cup of ice?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna scoop up.
You might wanna watch that.
Well, that's all right. It's just gonna go in the same. But
Oh, you're
yes,
thinking-
otherwise,
I'm just saying, if you were to scoop it, you would have washed it.
oh, right. If I was going to scoop into it, yes, thank you for pointing that out. Great, Aaliyah's tip. Okay. Here we go. And let's pray. We
I
put the
mean,
milk
if
in,
you-
right?
Sharon,
Yeah.
I
A little
have
bit.
a zestor up at Neely's point if you want me to get it.
I think we're okay.
Okay.
I should have asked earlier, I'm sorry, but I just don't want us to run out of time. So we've got all of our ingredients, and I'm praying to God this thing works. The last time it was a little funky. Here we go. So, go on. Okay. Oh my God, I'm not actually Christian, so. Maybe that's how it works.
Shopping. I bought it.
Oh, I can hit stop. People, we just made dinner and dessert in less than an hour, number one. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get the food distribution going, because we're gonna get you guys fed, because this fire drill is happening and we need time for you
You're
to
saying
eat.
this is already dinner?
Not really, but if you made this at home, it's okay, your dinner and dessert.
Sharon, can I serve?
Yes, let's serve
Yeah.
it up.
Babe, you wanna help me serve?
And then I'll make another one once you get ready.
Yeah, that's a good short rest before the fire.
We have people gonna do serving.
Thank you, Evan, you wanna come?
How long does it make in the oven?
Oh, 45 minutes.
I'm just saying, I'm just asking because, Sharon, because at 5:30, there's gonna be a fire drill.
I know.
That's what I'm asking.
I don't know what to do without you.
I don't either.
Okay, so you guys do the. I'm gonna get a couple of stuff.
Yeah, we have.
How many are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Eric said that's when the truck was coming.
Yes.
Who's driving it? You?
No, I'm not sure who is tonight.
So they are, the whole team's coming?
Just one wonderful team. Yep. Just say hello,
I know.
just so you see him, because if it was a real.
I'm gonna get the practice medicine with me this time.
Okay, good.
That's like
Good.
You'd be in her practice.
We'll be all right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Here we go. Let's start plating these. You want to start distributing these? Nick, you mind putting them up? And we can come back for seconds. I'm being a little conservative.
Here you
Like I suggested.
Oh. Are
No,
I am, go ahead, you have that.
Thank you,
Thank you, Kelly.
I don't need to spill it.
I won't spill it.
thank you.
Yeah, these are not the most sturdy
Thank
plates,
you.
Mama Piece.
It's good.
Andrew.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, go ahead, thank you so much. I'm so sorry, I forgot to say goodbye. Thank you for joining us, Andrew, thank you for showing us. Please, if you can, come next time in person, because I'd love to see you. But thank you for joining us and have a great day.
Bye.
See y'all.
I'm super excited to try it.
Yeah, Nick, I'm excited to try your smoothie.
Yeah, what Nick's smoothie.
Thanks.
I mean, I guess I could.